is Mike with Asymmetrical Preparedness. This video is called Why Prep? I'll just take from those who have. There's some people out there with that attitude. And I'll tell you what, even those people that are capable of doing that, it's not a good idea, of course. And speaking, from a moral background, from an ethical background, of course, we get it. That's not okay. That's on the wrong side of things. We prepare to not only take care of ourselves, but also to help others. And if people with the attitude that they're going to take are just completely wrong. This really made me realize, we're talking with some buddies of mine in the office. We're talking about that show that used to show up, Doomsday Preppers. I love that show because, hey, it was about prepping, even though a lot of it was really crazy out there. And I know a lot of it was dramatized for, Hollywood and for TV purposes, and all this stuff was added in. And, I get it. Real preppers wouldn't be showing what they have because of OPSEC and all those kind of things. I get it. But I still enjoyed it for educational purposes only. And every once in a while I would get a little idea out of the show that I'd be like, oh, it's a good idea. Whoa, really good idea. So, but anyway, reminds me of this one episode. This guy, this big dude that was not in physical condition to really go out and do much, was talking about how him and his group of guys were the apex predators. And how they were just, they stored a little bit of food, but they didn't have much food because when, crap hits the fan, they're just going to go out there and take from others that have it. Well, there are so many flaws, not even talking about the morality of the issue, so many flaws on his way of thinking. First off, he was making homemade body armor out of ceramic tiles that he bought from like Lowe's or Home Depot, and like using roofing tar to hold them together and then wrapping them in duct tape and stuff. Come on. And then he showed himself shooting it with a 12, I don't even know if it was a 12 gauge, but it was I think it was a 410 with birdshot. I'm like, anything will stop 410 with birdshot. Well, you get what I'm saying, not everything. But come on, a 410 with birdshot, that is not a test of body armor. So, anyway, and then he had all they had in there that they showed in there, and I get it, I don't think they were smart enough to think about OPSEC, so I think they were showing what they had. They had some 22 bolt-action 22s, I think they had some of the cheaper semi-auto 22s, they didn't even have like a Ruger 1022, they had a couple like 410 shotguns, they may have had like a 12 gauge or something like that. They had no firearms that were tactically capable, but they had ninja swords and machetes and all those cheapo imported Chinese crap from eBay, swords that look cool, look all fancy and stuff like that, but won't hold an edge or made out of crap steel, and it was just hilarious. And then one of the biggest flaws in that train of thought was where he was located. He was located in oh gosh, I forget the name of it. It starts with an L, and it is right across the street from what? Right across the street from Fort Lewis. Are you kidding? Home of Ranger Regiment, a bunch of striker brigades of infantry, helicopters, all kinds of stuff. Special Operations Forces, you name it. Fort Lewis is massive military presence. So these guys called themselves the apex predators in that area. They're smoking crack because all those military guys, all the former military guys and stuff, come on, they're far from the apex predator. So the first house, odds are first place they showed up to, if they actually got away with it, to raid somebody's house, ended up on being a 3rd Battalion friggin' Ranger, 3rd Ranger Regiment guy, and and just the Ranger would take them all out. Seriously, it would be a joke. So, I'm not really going to discuss the morality of it. If you're a good person, you understand the morality of it. It's not sound morals, not of sound moral value. We want to be on the good side. We want to be on the side that upholds strong ethical, moral values, goodness, and the values in which our country is based upon. Freedom, liberty, rights and freedoms, religious, political, speech, all those things, all the freedoms that are protected by our Constitution. Anyway, so being the apex predator or going out and taking from others, seriously? Okay, I don't care how bad you are, how highly trained you are, how well equipped you are, how well armed you are, all the things. I don't care if your group is, a bunch of guys that are, made up of team guys, aka SEAL team guys, Rangers, Army Special Forces, Marine MARSOC, Raiders, etc. I don't care, because somebody's going to get lucky. I mean, it just happens. Old dude with a rusty bolt-action rifle can take you out no matter how well trained you are. It's just luck and timing. So that being a long-term plan is not an idea, period. It's not sustainable, because, bam, then one of your guys is gone. And then, a couple of weeks or two later, whatever, same thing happens. Another one of your guys is gone. And how are you going to replenish them? You're not, spec ops operators don't grow on trees. So you're not going to be able to replace those guys, period. You may be able to replace, get some replacements, but they're not going to be the same quality, the same effectiveness as those guys. And you'd be better off being prepared in the first place, and having guys like that to protect, to guard what you have, and to patrol around the area, stuff like that. Go on scouting missions, all the things. So, yeah, just please don't have that as your mindset. Just because it's not realistic, it's not moral, and it's not sustainable. For one thing, you're going to run out of soft targets very quickly, because people are going to band together and create communities, and they're going to become hard targets. And then your casualty rates go up astronomically, because then you won't be able to sustain it. You'll be diced apart by some fairly well-trained group of people and a good defensive plan. So it's better to have preps, a good defensive plan, a good defensive location, and all those kinds of things. So please, like I said, don't have that mindset. If you talk to anybody, or you meet anybody, or if you come across anybody with that mindset, please talk to them. Please help them to understand that it's not sustainable for their own good. They need to step away from just the militant side and the tactical side and the firearm side. They need to get into the preparedness side. That's what I talked about with the militant farmer thing, and also militia, or militia's good or bad, and how we as preppers need to interface with, well, don't need to, I think it would be a good idea to interface with militias, because they tend to just concentrate on that. I'm not saying all do, some probably do preparedness also. I'm just saying that a lot of them tend to just do the militant side of things, because they're a militia. That's the root word of militia, militant. So anyway, interface with them, teach them, get them going and used to the preparedness side of things, so that we don't have a bunch of these, militant groups running around in an SHTF scenario, trying to be the apex predators and take from others. Because I'm not saying that they mean to. They mean well. I think most of them, they're constitutional militias. They're good people, just like you and me. But if they don't have that, the preps, then they're going to run into a situation where they have to feed their family. And good people they'll have to do what it takes to take care of their loved ones, to provide for their loved ones, to feed their loved ones, and all those things. So We don't want that. We want let's empower them. Let's work together to make this whole idea a better idea and a better place, so that coming out the backside we're better off. Because I mean, there's gonna be a lot of bad going on, a lot of death, a lot of suffering, stuff like that. So let's do our best to alleviate everything we can, to mitigate any of the situations that we can. This is why I talk about prepare a little every day. And prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear, because we don't need to fear this. If we're prepared, we don't need to fear. Like I read this story a while back. It was this cop pulled over this old grandma, this old lady, and I don't know, somehow she said something about like, oh, officer, I do have a handgun. And he's like, okay, well, what do you have? And she's like, oh, right here, in my hip or whatever it was, I have a 1911, for example. And then he's like, okay. He's like, anything else I should know about? She's like, well, I have, another, this something in the center console. And he's like, okay, is there anything else I need to know? She's like, oh yeah, there's something, another handgun in the glove box. And he's like, okay, is there anything else I need to know about? And she's like, she listed off like 3 or 4 more guns that were in her vehicle. And he's like, man, lady, he's like, what are you scared of? She said, I ain't scared a damn thing. I thought that was so funny. You guys have all heard the joke before. It's probably just a joke. Probably wasn't even a real one. It was a fake newspaper article, probably. But anyway, you get the idea. That's why we prep. So we're not scared. We don't have fear. So I love you guys. Please like, please subscribe, comment below, and share the videos. Do the things. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.